So I got an email for one of my subscribers. His name is Mike. Listen to this. Hi, I have suffered from degenerative disc disease since my early 20s. I'm 39 now and have had flare-ups almost every year. Last year, I decided to really fight back and started focusing on working out and weight loss. I have lost 100 pounds, but I'm still overweight, but I continue to move the scale down. I mean, talk about, motivating someone. I mean, this guy just lit me up when I saw this email. Anyway, I was walking 10,000 plus steps a day, riding my bike 3 miles a day, doing 100 push-ups and 50 crunches a day, and thought I was kicking DDD's butt. Anyways, I had another flare-up this year, but have been able to recover quicker. The pain is manageable, and I'm not back where I was with exercise, but I have been focusing on stretches and strength training when I found your videos. I can tell you really understand the pain that comes with degenerative disc disease. Yes, I do. I completely understand. And I like how you modify your stretches and exercises to what you found works best. I have had 1 or 2 good experiences from medical professionals, but for the most part, they treated me dismissively or didn't provide clear or helpful advice. No surprise there. In the medical community, you're just a number. They want to try to get you in there and out of there quickly and bill you an arm and a leg for their medical services. It's up to us to try to find a solution to how we can improve the quality of our lives. But I'm going to give you some resources at this video so that you can use. I mainly am writing to thank you, but also to see if you have any advice for at-home strength training exercises, as I can't go to the gym right now and don't own my own equipment. Thank you and have a good day. So Mike, I completely understand what you're going through, but I am really inspired by the amount of work that you put in and your progress. I've been struggling this year to get back in shape. I think it was around the end of November, I got another really bad back attack for no reason whatsoever. I didn't even do anything to injure my back. It just started to flare up and I couldn't do anything for a few weeks, right? So then finally when the pain started to subside, I decided, all right, now it's time for me to start really getting back in shape again. A few days right before Christmas, boom, I got hit with COVID. And, I suffered, for a few weeks. It lasted all the way into, past New Year's. And then, probably mid-January, I started to feel somewhat normal and stuff. And so now I've started to work out again. And part of the thing that I'm doing, one of the things that I'm doing to try to keep me motivated is I went ahead and I registered for a couple of Spartan races. I'm going to be, going to a Spartan race on April 24th. And out of all races, it's the Beast, right? So it's a 12-mile obstacle course race in a mountain. So I guess I don't know. That was the first race that I saw and I registered for it. I said, I'm going to go for it. So now I'm in the process of trying to get back in shape again because that's just one of the things that I love to do was just these obstacle course races. Anyway, so I've got a workout routine for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 separate workout routines. And what is special about these routines is that it's not only a full body routine where you don't need equipment, but there's also a special emphasis on strengthening those core muscles for lower back. It's actually been really helping me out a lot, and I'm hoping that it's going to help you out a lot as well. You're going to train your entire body, but there is you'll notice that there is a slight emphasis in trying to just strengthen those areas and those muscles where people don't think affects their lower back. So you'll see what I'm talking about as we move forward. So now how I structured the first set of exercises, all right, so the first workout routine, right, is that you're going to see that there's 2 sets of exercises, and the way that I perform them is each exercise I'm going to do for about 30 seconds, rest for about 15 seconds. That's where when I start transitioning in preparation for my next exercise. And again, I do it for 30 seconds and then transition for 15 seconds into my next exercise. Now, you don't have to do it that way, depending on how depending on how people are. Everybody's different, right? That system that I'm using is just basically to add a little bit more intensity to the exercise routine. So here are the exercises that I'm going to be performing, and here's an explanation of the exercise theory behind the exercises and why I chose them. I'm also going to be providing a follow-along video to this exercise routine, and you can find the link in the description box below. All right, so this is an explanation of all the exercises with the exercise theory behind it. The very first exercise to perform will be the Bulgarian split squat. Now, you've seen the Bulgarian split squats done before, right? But what's different about the way that I'm doing them is going to be placing a little bit more emphasis on the posterior chain, specifically like your glute and your hamstrings. So what you do is you see a lot of people do the Bulgarian split squats pretty much close to the bench or the chair this way, right? And so you'll see an upward motion this way. What I'm doing is I'm actually going out a little bit further to place a little bit more emphasis on that glute muscle and the hamstring. So basically, I'll go ahead and set myself up. So instead of being more like this, I'll be a little bit more out. And that's pretty much where, and now you'll start to feel a little bit more emphasis here. The other thing that I do is I try to make sure that I keep my back aligned with my head properly. So it's not this. It's not looking up, but more, you know, keeping everything perfectly in line here and then up. The other thing you'll notice that I do is that I'll probably put a marker to where my foot is. That way I don't have to keep figuring out how far to go out. It's already marked there. So from here, okay, as far down as you can, and then up. Okay, so everything here, it's kind of like at an angle, right? So and then up. Placing all that emphasis here on the hamstring, on the glutes, okay, as well as your thighs. All right, so it's down and up, and then obviously you switch and do the other leg. The second exercise is the one-legged Romanian deadlift. Now, one of the things that you can do obviously is when you're here, I have a chair in front of me, and this is obviously so that when I do the exercise I can just kind of like use this to maintain my balance. You don't want to lock your leg straight, but keep it slightly bent, all right? So from here, again, the whole emphasis is to try to keep you from your head all the way down to your foot. You want to try to keep that aligned as best as you can. It's not going to look perfect, especially when you're starting to work out again, like I am. So from here, you just want to go ahead and just go as far down as you can. If you need to hold on to something, then that's what the chair is here for. You're going to start feeling that stretch over here. You don't want to overstretch. You just want to make sure you give it just enough and then bring it back up again. So down and then up. Now this is going to test your balance, and that's one of the things. A lot of people, they just don't train their balance anymore, and the balance is just something that definitely kind of like, it gets very bad when we get older, right? As we get older, we lose our balance a lot more easily, we fall, things like that. So this is definitely one of those things that has more than one added benefit, right? So all the way down and up, and then down and up. If you want, you can add some resistance to it. So like, let's say a kettlebell or a dumbbell, same thing. Now, in this case, I would probably put like the chair off to the side a little bit so that, you know, you're able to maintain your balance if you need to, right? You want to try to challenge your balance as best as you can. All right, so just go as low as you can. If you can go all the way down to the floor, that's fine. The one thing that you want to try to maintain is just that, you know, straight alignment. You don't want to, you know, arch your back this way, and obviously overextend your back as well. So that's the second exercise. So now the third exercise is obviously the inverted rows, probably one of the best upper back building exercises. So basically, if you can just, this is a regular broomstick, and if you can get 2 chairs, obviously on the sides here, and what you're going to do is just going to come over here and bring it here. Now, keep in mind that what you want to do is you want to keep your arms close to the chairs, okay? That's just going to give you a lot more stability. Then the other thing that I want you to keep in mind is that the exercise should be done with the concentric portion of the movement. In other words, when you lift yourself up to be fast, but you should be going down, or the eccentric part of the movement should be down, it should be done slower than when you went up. So it's going to look like this. Obviously, when you have your legs bent like this, it's going to be easier. If you have your legs straight, it's going to be a little bit harder, okay? So you're basically going to want to lift up from here. You want to go up fast and then slow down. So it's going to look like this. Want to go up as fast as you can. Just be careful, okay, over here. This is why you want to maintain your your hands close to the chair. But also, one of the other things that I want you to pay attention to is that on the upper portion of the exercise, your forearm should be perfectly, or at least parallel to the ground. You don't want to way too much of a wide grip, and you don't want too much of a narrow grip. And this is obviously dangerous because the broomstick can obviously slip from the chairs. Okay, so from here, all right, so that's the inverted row. So now the 4th exercise is going to be decline push-ups. If you can't do decline push-ups, just do whatever push-ups that you can, regular push-ups, incline push-ups, right? Incline push-ups tend to be a little bit easier, right? So if I have a chair here, I can do push-ups here, okay, which would be a little bit easier, right? So it all depends on your level, all right? But the reason why I say do decline push-ups, specifically, I think, to make it more challenging, I like doing plyo decline push-ups. But listen, the thing is that as we get older, everything kind of droops like this. So what we want to do is we want to build upwards. Even older men who have well-developed chests tend to have those pecs like a little droopy. What we want to do is we want to try to build upwards. So we want to try to focus a little bit more on the upper chest, right? So from here, all right, we want to try to get yourself situated. We want to try to do plyo decline push-ups. Now, we don't have to go too high here. I go as much as just my palms, getting off the ground, but my fingertips are still there. You don't have to go too much here, okay? So it's going to be down and then up in an explosive motion, okay? So it's going to look a little bit like this. All right, decline push-ups. The other thing is try to embrace your core here to try to maintain yourself straight, okay? So if you're like this, you can hurt your back. If you're like this, you might be working a little bit more of your delts, okay? Try to maintain as much as you can a straight torso. And the 5th exercise in this set is going to be a plank with knee to elbow. So basically, all right, get into a plank position on your elbows. Again, try to maintain that torso straight. Try not to have too much of this or, an overextension here, okay? So more like this. And this becomes challenging because you're going to be tired, right? So basically what you want to do is spread your legs nice and wide, and from here, just bring your right knee to your left elbow, and then back again. Now do the same thing with your left. So here, okay? Here's the other thing you want to maintain. You want to try to maintain yourself straight. In other words, you don't want to rotate too much. So again, it becomes very challenging, but what we want to try to avoid is this type of movement. That kind of like doesn't focus on our ab muscles here in the front. So from here, okay? Now, the other thing is be careful when bringing your knees to your elbows. You don't want to smash and you don't want to hurt your knee. If this is too hard for you, you can try it with a plank position here this way, or you could just do your feet kind of like a running man, or find another elevated way of doing this. So maybe you want to plank with a chair. So again, all depends on your fitness level. All right, so now the first exercise of the second set of exercise, we're going to start with a one leg calf raise. So what you want to do is you obviously want to try to find a location where you can kind of like hold on to you know, for balance. And we're just going to do a simple calf raise with one leg, up and down, as far up as you can go, and then down until you kind of like tap the floor. The emphasis here is to maintain that time under tension. So it's not like, you know, you start here, you finish here, and then you kind of plop down and you stand up again. It's going to be a constant up and down movement. We want to keep that time under tension for the amount of time that you're doing the exercise, whether it be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or whatever. So basically it's going to look like one flowing movement, up and down. Okay, and then the other thing that you need to focus on is you want to roll your foot on your big toe. All right, the tendency sometimes, focus over here on my feet, the tendency sometimes when you're doing this exercise is to kind of roll this way. And you don't want to roll this way. You want to maintain that nice straight movement, and you want to focus on lifting up into your big toe. The next exercise is going to be rope curls. Now, this is an old karate white belt that I have. You can use a belt, you can use rope, whatever it is, a towel that is going to work for you. But the concept is pretty much the same as the calf raises. So basically what we want to do is we want to take one foot here, and now you want to maybe wrap your legs, your hands around the rope here until you're here. So now what you're going to do is you're actually going to curl, but you're going to be providing the tension with your foot. And so the amount of tension really all depends on you. I mean, the more tension you put, the more muscle, the more you're going to work your biceps. But the whole concept is this, okay? What you want to do is you want to keep that time under tension. So it's not like you're going to go, okay, and up, and one, and then now you're resting here. No, the whole point is to maintain that constant tension throughout the entire exercise. Now, you're going to be providing different amounts of tension depending on the concentric or the eccentric portion of the exercise. So over here, I may want to put in a little bit more tension because the eccentric part of the exercise is where you actually build a lot of muscle. All right, it's not so much on the concentric exercise here, but also on the negative portion of the eccentric portion of the exercise. So you're just basically going back and forth, and you are not resting those biceps throughout the entire time of that exercise. And that's how you do the rope curls. All right, so now the next exercise is going to be dips, okay? So here's how I do my dips, right? I grab two chairs, all right, put them over here to the side. And then it's important that when you're doing the dips, don't go past 90 degree angle in your elbow, because you could be risking injury to your shoulder, right? So basically from here, all right, and I'm looking kind of like straight up, bringing down and up, down and up. Again, you don't want to like rush through this exercise, but you maintain good form, trying to be a little bit slower on the eccentric and explosive up on the top, okay? So like this. You can kind of see I'm shaking. Okay, so the other thing also is that if you can't do dips, full body dips like that, then you can do just the regular dips that you usually see people do, but I want you to do it a little differently, okay? I want you to basically put the chairs to the side, all right, and do it this way. Same thing, all right? So from here, you want to keep you can keep your legs straight, which makes the exercise a little harder. Bent makes the exercise a little easier. But again, you don't want to go past 90 degrees with your arms, because you don't want to risk that shoulder injury. So have 2 chairs on the side here, next to you, and then do the dips this way. Here's what I don't like about doing the dips with 1 chair, okay, is that your hands are all the way in the back over here, okay? And then when you do the dips this way, look, I mean, look at how much I'm already stretching my shoulders. And then on top of that, you want to go down, and now look at how I'm causing that internal rotation of the shoulders. You could just cause a whole bunch of injuries. So doing dips this way is not ideal, in my opinion, okay? I can already start to feel a little bit too much activity in here, okay? Which can cause an injury. Have 2 chairs. Actually, you could put them this way, all right? Right next to you. And from here, feels so much better. Now I can really emphasize on my triceps. So down, up, squeeze those triceps on the way up. All right, up, down, down. Okay. All right. Some people say, don't lock your elbows up here. I don't think that that's much of a problem unless you are kind of like double jointed and your arm kind of like bends this way. That becomes a problem, all right? But for most people who are not that flexible, it's really not a problem to get up here and contract those triceps. Here, down, and up. Much, much better that way. It's a lot more safer to do that exercise that way also. All right, so now the final exercise in this second set of exercises, right, is going to be the side plank with a knee to elbow. So basically, there's a couple of ways to do this, all right? You could do it on your knees, elbow here on the floor, and kind of lift up this way. Now, this is going to be emphasizing, like your side obliques here, your gluteus medius and minimus as well. So again, we're emphasizing a lot of core work over here, right? So you could do it with your legs straight, all right? And just plank, everything straight. Your head shouldn't be like this or anything. So from here, we're going to take the knee and we're going to meet it with the elbow, and we're going to meet it with the knee. So from here, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to really feel it right here, okay? In this area, gluteus minimus, gluteus medius, your obliques, and you're basically building stability and strength in those areas of your core. Now, if you can't do it straight leg, again, you just switch to the bent leg version of this. Same thing, all right? Bent leg version. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so I hope that you can see that with this routine, you're actually working your entire body, but there is a slight emphasis in core strength, all right? And now if you're the type of person like myself who suffers from chronic pain because of a lower back condition, then these are some of the exercises that you can use to just, strengthen up your core, all right? So I hope that this has been helpful. God bless you, and see you at the next video.